Welcome back to the Deep Dig of Sports Pod. I'm your host, D. Wanted to touch base a little bit about the Los Angeles Chargers. They've made a couple moves, but before we dig into that, be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe and drop some comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Okay, so really wanted to make this because I saw that the Chargers have traded away wide receiver Keenan Allen to the Bears in exchange for a fourth round pick. And this leaves a lot of people scratching their heads like, what is happening to the Los Angeles Chargers and all of their weapons? They now trade Keenan Allen. They've cut Mike Williams, and their number one wide receiver right now is Quentin Johnston, who, I mean, let's face it, had a beyond lackluster first year in the NFL. They move away from Austin Eckler. They lose a couple pieces on the defensive side as well. And a lot of people are like, well, I mean, that's Jim Harbaugh for you. Jim Harbaugh is going to do what Jim Harbaugh is doing. Is he clearing everything out so that he could bring in a bunch of Michigan guys? I think this has nothing to do with Jim Harbaugh and everything to do with Tom Telesco, the former GM. I know when he was released, they were talking about him building one of the best rosters in the league, which, I mean, on paper, I guess he did. He got a lot of big names. Bosa on one side, Khalil Mack, Derwin James, a plethora of just overpaid guys. And now Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers have to deal with it. They're kind of footing the bill here, and they had to make a bunch of moves just to cut costs. And so obviously, I think that the number one thing for them is in the draft is going to be drafting a good young wide receiver. It's going to be building up Quentin Johnston to hopefully make a huge jump from year one into year two, figuring out what you can do at the running back position. But realistically, I think they'll be fine with running back. I mean, we see guys who just get value out of running backs left and right. I think that Jim Harbaugh is just one of those guys who can draft a running back really late and still get a ton of value out of them. So I think it's a little bit less, hey, gloom and doom panic here for the Chargers. But I mean, man, they are doing a ton of, just saving draft compensation. I think this is something that we had talked about previously is there was a deadline for guys like Bosa and Keenan Allen. The deadline was Friday for Bosa to either get cut, traded, or restructure his deal because it was an $11 million roster bonus. And guess what? They ended up getting that restructured. Joey Bosa gets to stay on the team. Now I think we see this move with Keenan Allen. His cap hit was going to be on Sunday. I believe it was a $5 million roster bonus. So, hey, we couldn't get anything done. I think that Keenan does deserve it. He was a franchise guy, but I mean, you got to make moves. And I think this one really hurts for Chargers fans, if we're going to be honest. But the Bears, on the other hand, get a weapon in Keenan Allen. If he stays healthy, I think he is going to be a good addition to this team. I think that really gearing up for the coming of Caleb Williams and putting him in the best position possible. I think that's a huge safety blanket for a guy like Caleb Williams. And I think that's well worth a fourth round pick in my eyes. I think they kind of fleeced him here. You could have got a little bit more, but again, you're running up against the deadline. And when you have to do a deal out of desperation, that is typically when you do bad deals. And so it is what it is for the Chargers. They got to move forward. They got to find weapons somehow. I think we're going to see them draft multiple wide receivers this upcoming draft. But man, it is really tough for them. But I think that after you kind of get this initial go-ahead year, build the foundation. Hey, let's do things right. Let's build it the right way. I think I have no qualms about Jim Harbaugh, the football coach, because realistically, it is a surefire thing. Everywhere he goes, eventually he is going to win, and I think that's going to be the same thing here with the Los Angeles Chargers. He is going to build out a winner. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. And be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. Appreciate it. Later.